Hello and welcome, Inspired Podcast community. This is your new episode. My name is Caroline, and my today's guest is Dr. Nicole Bradford. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Oh, me too. I'm so excited to talk to you now. And I want to introduce you to the audience. Of course, you are an author, advocate, administrator, and educator committed to helping others live an audaciously, you have to help me with this word, authentic life. Because, yeah. And I'm happy that you're here. Welcome again.
Thank
Yes.
you. Yes.
And my first question is, what inspires you on a day-to-day basis? So I always ask, like, getting up, to get up in the morning, what excites you, and also to what inspired you to become an author and an advocate and all the things I listed
Oh,
before.
yes, yes. Well, of course, every day is another opportunity to get out and make a difference and to help someone. And for me, it's my personal faith and relationship, but also it is my passion for my children. I have three amazing children. My oldest is a first grade teacher. Kristen, my son, is working on his master's degree in college, and my daughter Caitlin is at UNT, where she's a junior. And so I'm always excited to have opportunities to spend with them, to enjoy and experience life. But outside of that, I've been an educator since the late 1990s. And so I began my career on the collegiate campus, and there I had an opportunity to work with individuals from all walks of life. And I think it's an opportunity for me to connect with others, to inspire others, and try to help them find their purpose in life. And so you asked a little bit about my company. My company's name is Maintain the Flame. And the reason why I came up with that name for the company is that in life, we have so much energy and excitement when we're young, and we really are carefree and we don't care about anything that's going on in the world. We just want to be happy and youthful. But then as we transition into adult world and we start adulting, things can tend to be a little complicated. And so that's why I came up with Maintain the Flame, because I want to inspire people to show up as their authentic self. Instead of conforming to the world and their expectations, be yourself and design the life that you truly desire.
Oh, so true. Thank you so much for mentioning. Also, I have in this logo of the Inspired podcast also the flames in it. And the opposite would be, and I don't like to use the word, but I have to now, but I have to use the word burnout. And how many people, the flames of the people burned out, but this doesn't mean we cannot ignite. Yeah, the word is
Yes,
ignite
yes.
the flame. It is so amazing. Maintain the flame. It seems like it's like a rhyme, like a poetry or a poem or something.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. My purpose in life is to ignite change. And like you say, sometimes the flame may dwindle, or and sometimes we may allow our flame to go out with our and excitement for life, because we have so many trials and tribulations that we experience. But I just want to encourage others to ignite that flame, reignite that flame for any dream that you've once had. If you wanted to start a podcast, if you wanted to go back to school and receive your degree, or if you even wanted to start a family later in life. Whatever it is, you still have the opportunity to engage, to reignite that flame and that desire, and look at your dream and goals that you had for yourself, and know that it's never too late to begin.
Wow, that's so true. And it's the start that stops the people, right? We have to
Yes.
start, and it all starts with the first step. So when you talk to me, or because I'm the best example. I started studying psychology at the age of 35. After I already had degrees, like two
Mhm.
master degrees in economics, but it was like boring, or I don't know. I always wanted to study psychology since I was 15. And then it took me, so I can encourage the audience as well. It's never too late, and even at the age of 70 or 80,
That's
I
right.
for my parents or my mom, I would have loved that she started to study something that she really loves. It's never too late, however long it takes. For me, it was 11 years. So, but I had my company, with employees and so on. So I can emphasize what you said. It's true. Always go for your dreams, or live for your dreams, vivify your dreams. And then some dear friend of mine said, then comes the point the dream will vivify you. And this is so amazing, so beautiful. Of course, I have another question for you. It
Sure.
is, who inspires you? And let's say, do you have coaches and mentors for yourself? And who was the best coach you ever had?
Okay, great question. Well, I will say that for me, a lot of my motivation, as you provided in the introduction, working in the field of education, I'm inspired daily by the students and the faculty and staff members that I'm fortunate to work with, because unfortunately, so many of our students and our teachers, they're overworked and they're dealing with so many things. And so my goal is to reignite, to connect with them, and to help them to look at the bright side of the situation, to find the promise and the opportunities in their lives. And so for me, you asked for who was my coach. Well, my number one, I think for me, I've always looked to, I do have my faith and my religion. And I also have looked to my mother. She was a very, very strong woman. And the last 3 years of my parents' life, I was their caregiver. And that in itself was very tough for me, because my parents were very, very strong individuals. My dad had suffered several strokes, and my mom had Parkinson's disease. And that was very tough to watch. And so I had to make sure that my internal flame and excitement and support was there for them throughout that journey, because at times they would get discouraged, and at times they, want to give up or give in because those health concerns were overwhelming them. But you say my mentor was my mother. And my mother and father are now deceased, but it was a pleasure, and I'm glad I was able to walk alongside them during their last 3 years of their life and be there to support them and guide them and let them know that they're not alone.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. Many people have not a good relationship with their parents, maybe, and maybe it's time to make peace, or
Yes.
if I if I may say this, in so before they pass away, to set this as an intention. This reminds me of that. Thank you so much. My next question: how do you inspire other people?
Well, I think I utilize my trials and tribulations and the situations that I've encountered in life to use as an example and a testimony to other individuals. Growing up, even with my parents, as God rest their soul, and as much as I love them, my childhood was not the best. I did grow up witnessing domestic violence in the home. And so that kind of impacted my relationship, but I was always the solver. I wanted us to figure things out. I wanted us to come back together as a family and know that everything could be okay. And so I utilize, for the students that I work with, my challenges with low self esteem, my challenges encountering and witnessing domestic violence growing up. And then for the adults, I utilize my experience from moving from the college years to going into married relationships. And that at times can be very difficult. I know that there were times with my in laws, if you're not a certain person or you don't behave a certain way, that it's not accepted. And so you have to find that internal flame for yourself, know who you are and know what you deserve, and be able to stand firm on what you believe. So my challenges with that, and then going into the workplace, being able to stand up for what is right. And I believe that I utilize those stories. I think that when I sit down and I'm doing coaching sessions one-on-one with individuals, they're able to take away strategies and tools that they can utilize to design the life that they desire.
Wow, thank you for sharing. And they can use these methods and tools you give to them, in order to teach others, or let's say guide others. Yeah, and to spread this happiness and this flame. They can give their flame to others. Only
Yes.
if they are enlightened, right? If they are turned
Mhm.
on, if they are fired up. No, you don't
That's
say this,
right. Well,
right?
I come up with 8 strategies. It comes from the acronym MAINTAIN. And so I try to share some ideas and strategies that I've utilized, and it's worked with students, parents, and families that I've worked with. And the first letter is M, and that would be to focus on your mindset. And I always say that my mistakes in life or my missteps have been able to help me alter my mindset. And when you have a positive mindset, you're able to look at your situation a little differently. And so I would say the first step is make sure that we're utilizing the positive affirmations, but not only after we're saying those affirmations, we're internalizing them and we're allowing them to positively impact our lives. And the next letter is going to be the letter A, action. Action is very important in life. Sometimes we think, oh, I'm 75, I'm 89, it's too late. My life has passed me by, or I'm 60. I've already raised my kids, it's too late for my goals. And as we talked about earlier, it's never too late. You want to make sure that you take action on things that inspire you because you want to live your life to the fullest. So even if it's saying, I want to lose a couple of pounds, I'm not saying go out and run a marathon. What I am saying to you is, one morning get up, and even if you have to walk from your driveway to the stop sign and come back, that's taking action towards your goals and your dream. So action one step at a time. And then the next letter is the letter I. You want to be very intentional with the life that you live and intentional with the relationships that you have. And you mentioned a little bit earlier, and it's very important. I know when we're younger, we may have different trials and tribulations or situations with our family members or even with our parents. Like you talked about the relationships with our older parents. But we need to understand parents are just like us, they're learning, and they did the very best they could at that time. So let's build those relationships. Let's be intentional, reach out to them, repair and restore that relationship because those memories are priceless. And then the next letter will be N. Nurture, nurture, and nurture some more. And I'm not just talking about the ladies in the audience, I'm talking about the gentlemen as well. Make sure that you take time to nurture yourself. If it's going out to take a nice stroll in the park, if you want to get your nails done, or if you just want to sit down at the end of the day, you've taken care of everyone and you just want to sit down in peace and soak your feet. Do something to nurture yourself because you can't pour into anyone else if you're not pouring into yourself. And I always talk about that. When we talk about nurturing, it's kind of like our cellular devices. When you take it away from the charger, it only lasts for a little while and you have to go back and you have to recharge it. So let's think about reigniting ourselves, nurturing ourselves so we can be the best version that we can. And then the next letter is T, tenacity. Live a life that is very tenacious. Have love and vigor and excitement for your life. I watched a documentary once and I was really inspired because the young lady talked about her dad. And she said her dad always told her, live full and die empty. So if you're living a tenacious life, that means you have no fear. You're going to go out and go after your goals. You're going to try things that are new and you're going to try to meet new people and learn new things in life. So being very tenacious will help you in the long run. Then the next letter is going to be A, authenticity. Be authentic. So many times we try to impress others or we want to fit in with the group, kind of like when we were younger, we wanted to be with the cool crowd, but just be your authentic self. It takes the pressure off, it lessens the stress, and it helps you to show up as your authentic self. And you'll be happy and proud at the end. And then the last letter is going to be non-negotiables. Oh, I'm sorry, I skipped I. It's going to be integrity. And in our world today, when anything and everything goes and everyone just goes along to get along, make sure you hold on to that integrity and you stand up for what you believe in, even though it may be a little tough at times. And then finally, the last letter out of the 8 strategies would be non negotiables. As adults and even as children, we need to teach our children, come up with your non negotiables. Is it your faith? Is it your beliefs? Is it your relationship? What is it for you that this isn't what I'm not going to compromise? It could just be, you know what? After a long day, I need 10 minutes to myself. And that's non negotiable. I have to come in, I have to connect myself, gather my thoughts, I have to de stress before I engage with anyone else. But those are just 8 short strategies that you can utilize to maintain your flame and to design the life that you desire.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing. 8 is my favorite number, by the way. And you can easily remember this, the maintain, right? Maintain the
Yes.
flame. And I didn't know this is an acronym. And I love that you shared this with us. I have to re-listen to it again, of course, to to internalize it, as we say. And concerning I remember the last two. Integrity is, I think I heard it once, doing the right thing when no one is watching, or something
That's
like that.
right.
And the
Yes,
non-negotiables, difficult word for me. It is I would say it is when you have standards.
that's
So
right.
you don't you define. But the thing is, and I realized a few weeks ago, to have standards or to define standards in the first place, in order to know what is non-negotiable for me. Yeah, I
Yes.
dare to pronounce this word again. But for me, it's when I know how it's written, then I read it from my mind. I imagine the word and then I read. It's this is my standard is
You got it
to
right.
imagine words.
Yes.
Thank you so much. I have another question for you. Is what are your gifts and talents?
Well, I believe my gifts and talents are connecting with others. I'm really big on relationships. I think that's most important. But I do love to sing, even though I don't have an opportunity to sing a lot. I love having fun. I think it's so important. I'll even share with you a story when my children were growing up. My son's friends used to always say, you know what? Adults are not supposed to act like that. And I said, well, this adult does because I love connecting with children. I love having fun and I love doing different things. So I believe my gifts and talents, I am a speaker. I travel to different locations and I try to speak to conferences, graduations, workshops, things of that nature. I did mention that I sing and I love teaching others and I love volunteering because I think volunteering truly can make a difference.
Oh, yes, that's so true. Volunteering is like giving back. I think giving back what we received when
Yes.
others gave to us their knowledge, their wisdom, whatever. Thank you so much for sharing. Oh, I have to think about. And I could listen to you for hours. It's so inspiring, and your voice, your way of communicating or telling. So it's really understandable, and
Oh,
it
thank you.
reaches, it goes directly to my subconscious
Oh,
mind. And yeah,
thank
thank you so much. I learned so much. I want to know from you, if you set goals. We talked about intentions, right?
you.
Do you
Yes.
set goals for yourself or intentions, and what would be one of them for 2024?
Oh, most definitely. Yes. I always set goals. Even when I was just talking to my daughter about that this morning, when I was younger in college, I would always say, by the end of this semester, I want to accomplish X, Y, and Z. And I would make sure that I worked every day and I at least did 1 or 2 things to get me closer to that goal. And even as an adult, I continue that same practice. So currently for 2024 and going into current for this moment, I'm writing a book that is entitled My Soul is Not for Sale. And so this is a very important book to me. I've had this title inside of me for so many years and I kept putting it off and putting it off. But now I finally have written the book. Hopefully, it'll be out towards the end of August. And I set this goal out for myself several months ago. And I just worked every day, even if it was just to write a paragraph or a couple of sentences. But I connected with others and I was able to bring this dream to fruition. So, my book entitled My Soul Is Not for Sale will be out by the end of this August.
Wow, I take your word and I hold you accountable by this podcast episode, because this will be when you listen to this, dear listeners, it's already September. So the book is published, and please reach out to Nicole. She's amazing. And we put the link in the show notes, of course. I have to mention it. The next question is, and this has to do with reaching out and connecting to you, or you connecting to the other people, to our audience. It is, when people reach out to you after listening to this episode, do you have special offers or services for the Inspired podcast community?
Most definitely. You can always connect with me via my website. It's going to be www.maintaintheflame.net. And on there, that talks about the coaching sessions that I provide, and it's one-on-one opportunities in a very comfortable, non-judgmental environment. And I just want to be your partner, like she just mentioned, your accountability partner, and to help you to grow stronger and work towards your goals and your dreams. And for any podcast listener from Inspired that utilizes that, when you contact me, you will receive a 50% discount. On there, we also have merchandise that can be purchased as well. And if you're looking for a speaker for any of your conferences or just one-on-one for your small groups, I'm also available. But again, the website is www.maintaintheflame.net. And on there, you'll also be able to purchase the book. And I have a journal, One Step is All It Takes, if you're interested in that as well.
Wow, this is so amazing. Thank you so much. This was the right message for me. I will check it out immediately. Of course, I love your book title. I did not mention it, but of course, I was impressed and speechless. My soul is not for sale, right?
Yes.
I have to practice. It's a new headline now. We will read about that. We will in the newspapers, of course. I will follow you wherever you go. It is so
Thank you.
inspiring. Thank you so much. I could listen to you for hours, as I said. And now it's time for your last message to the audience. I know you have many messages to share with us, please.
Well, I would say in closing, just remember that you are a gift and your life is a gift to yourself and to others. And I just want you to have the courage to know that your dreams and the passions that you have inside of you, even though you may have not had an opportunity to reignite those in a couple of years or a couple of months, they're still inside of you. And you owe it to yourself and you owe it to those around you to reignite that flame. Please know that you're a gift, you're loved, you're special, and you have the power to design the life that you desire and live an audaciously authentic life. You have the power to change, and it only takes one step at a time. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, thank you for saying yes. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And see you in the next episode.